In this short clip, we're going to look at a competition format and we're going to try and be live throughout the whole time. The reason for this is it's quite easy to watch competitions going on and we kind of want to see what's going on in the mind of the competitor. Today that's going to be Jen. I'm going to be the annoying person asking her questions the whole time, and she's going to try and tell us what's going on in her mind and what happens throughout the whole time duration. So we're going to go for a set time.
In a World Cup qualifier or semi-final format, you get 5 minutes.
Cool, so we're going to do 5 minutes. We're going to start it in the next 5 seconds, and we're going to hopefully give you some ideas of what's going to go on in Jen's head.
Yeah.
So first I'm just going to brush all the holds. Like, you obviously get loads of chalk on them. And I use this to just give me an idea of like where to hold the holds as well, or where other competitors have held them. Like if there's a big build-up of chalk on one bit, like obviously this bit of this hold. And then I'll maybe take a step back, give the problem a good root read, and this can take like up to a minute normally.
So Jen's not been on this problem yet, and like she said, she's already spent 30 seconds brushing it and starting to have a bit of a root read. So it's going to be almost 40 seconds, 45 seconds before she starts pulling on. So it means when you start this, you don't have to rush on straight away. There is time to think. Attempt number 1. So did that feel like you were expecting, or?
I don't think I looked at this hold maybe enough. Didn't get the best part of it, so I'm gonna have a better look at that one and aim for a good bit.
Yeah, so one thing you'll notice, if you're doing this just trying problems down the wall, it kind of doesn't matter too much. You'll have a quick go and then you go, okay, I'll change it now. But when we consider this in a competition and we're looking at the amount of time that you've been on the wall, you've already 3 minutes 30 seconds left.
Oh, God.
Attempt number 2, pressure's on. How are you feeling now, Jen?
This is normally when I start to get like a little bit anxious, maybe, if it feels really hard. So I try and take a step back, keep like looking at the top of the problem as well. It can be easy to like focus in on one move. So it's good to remind yourself of the sequence at the top.
That's one thing that's quite interesting, is trying to make yourself relaxed in these situations where you can kind of let it build up. You're thinking, okay, I've fallen off the same move, what's it going to be like next time? When actually going into that, every attempt getting more and more anxious isn't going to help you out. You've got time, try and relax, step back like Jen said, and hopefully you can go into it next go and make it count. Same thing again, stepping back, taking a breather, but we need to start looking at the time that's going on. So if you've got a timer there, it's quite a good thing to check out, because now we know how much time you got left and how many goes you're probably going to have left. In a competition, would you decide how many more attempts you're going to give it, or?
Sometimes, yeah. When I'm not getting that far, I don't tend to worry about that too much. But I've had 3 goes now, not really made any progress, so I'm going to look at trying a different way. Oh my God.
You've got 45 seconds. And that's the end of the time.
That was well hard.
So in a competition, you've got obviously more problems to move on to. How do you keep the right mindset moving on?
I just try and forget about the previous problem, you've only got 5 minutes off the wall, so you can't dwell on the last problem for the whole 5 minutes. You've got to just get ready for the next one and then give it everything.
So just had 5 minutes rest. We picked the next climb for Jen to go on. Okay, so we're going to start the timer now. So are you going to do the same routine as last time, Jen?
Yeah, I like to have the same routine. I find it like relaxes me, takes my mind off like the crowd and stuff, gets my focus on the problem.
So one thing that's quite interesting is the timing is exactly the same as well, so pulling on pretty much the same time.
Oh God.
Oh. So another hard first move, but once again, got time. Composing yourself, how was that?
Yeah, it was pretty hard. Feel a bit sick now.
Come on, Jen.
So I think now maybe I need a little bit longer. Like that fall threw me off a little bit, and maybe I jumped back on too quickly.
So it's good you get these routines in mind, and you stick to the same sort of times, but you still got to adapt it to the problem. And like Jen said, this is like a really hard first move that needs a big effort. And when you've just taken like a fall like that, or when you tried really hard the first time, you just need that little bit extra time. And once again, it's really easy to rush this and get too used to trying attempt after an attempt, but just take a step back, get your composure, and then you can go back into it with a good mindset. Nice. That's a look of relief if I've ever seen it.
I had to try hard then.
So that's 2 minutes 30 it's taken, so you can get a breather now.
Yeah, I get a bit longer to rest.
So how, when you move on to the next problem, how does that kind of make you feel? Does it make a big difference whether you've done it or not?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you get a little bit longer to rest. And yeah, obviously I'm starting to have done it, and that'll carry through to the next one.
Yeah. Cool. All right, she's out of breath. We'll let her have a rest, and we'll move on to the next one. So normally in a qualifiers you'd be doing around 5 problems. Today we're just going to do 3 because we're going to try and show you the process throughout. And this is also something that's really good for any of you competition climbers out there. Try and do it in practice because it makes a massive difference being really strict on yourself and doing this and getting used to the pressures in your process rather than just turning up at a competition and being surprised at how to manage your time. So I know Jen does this all the time, and we get our competition climbers that we work with to do this all the time. And if you can do it with a partner or a coach, it makes it even better. So try and be strict and try and really think about the approach that you go into each 5 minutes with. Jen, you psyched?
Yeah, I'm psyched.
3, 2, 1. So Jen, this is a little bit of a different problem now. Do you do the same thing?
Because it's a slab, I tend to take more care on the footholds, like especially when they're pretty grimy like this. You know, really brush them so I trust them fully. And then I don't worry too much if I've not got like a set sequence. Like obviously I've got a little bit more time because it's a slab. I'll be able to think about it while I'm on there.
Oh, close.
Pretty rubbish little foothold.
So would you allow yourself more attempts when you're on a slab, or would you just give it the same amount?
I mean, it takes longer to do an attempt, so I don't normally rest as much. And obviously I'm not like as tired, I don't get pumped.
I think one thing that stands out with competition climbers is when they do rush onto slabs a bit too quick, you start to become a little bit uncoordinated because you're panicking. So it's really important, like Jen said before, get composure, then go back on.
Oh. Holds get pretty rubbish.
So did it change your mentality before when you found the first move hard compared to right at the top?
I guess so. Like, if I'm struggling on the first move, I try and get like amped up for it, for each attempt, and get really psyched. And when it's like this, I'm just trying to relax and make sure I keep breathing and stuff instead.
It's really interesting coming to this from a coach's perspective, and I know you parents feel the same. When you're watching this in the competition, you're getting more and more kind of like worked up, really trying to egg on your climber and make sure they do well. But you've got to remember as well, if they ever see you, they're going to be feeding off your energy. So it's all about composure and making sure that they feel good about it.
Oh no! God, it's so bad.
The last left hand hold.
Yeah, and that right one.
So we got 30 seconds now.
Right. Probably try and have one more go.
So as you can see, it starts to add up doing it in this kind of format. I mean, do you find it just so much more pressure when you're on a timer?
Yeah, definitely. Like, even though I'm just on my own, having that timer there makes it feel like a comp.
And so we've been really lucky. We're here at the depot, which is amazing in terms of the size of the facility, but you can do this at any wall. So one of the best recommendations I can do for anyone who's interested in competition climbing is find out when the sets are happening, find out the type of grades and the different types of sets that are happening at your local wall, and save some of the problems for this sort of training, because it makes a huge difference. And I assume that you go to different walls as well to try this out?
Yeah, try and get to loads of different walls, get a variety of setting and on a variety of holds as well.
I mean, and this isn't a competition wall, this is just using normal problems, but adding that timer makes a huge difference. So thanks very much, Jen. And yeah, today we'll finish, but try it out at home.